Next is Twitter. Now, as I'm sure everyone's familiar, Twitter is an incredibly popular service. People send more than 1 billion tweets per week. And we hear from a lot of our customers on iPhone and iPad and iPod Touch that they love Twitter. And so we want to make it even easier for all of our customers to use Twitter on iOS products. We're doing a number of things for this. First, we're adding single sign-on. So now, when you go to the Settings app that's built in on the iPhone or iPad, you can enter your username and password, and now you're configured for Twitter. For any app you download off the App Store, it'll just say, "Can I use your credentials?" When you say yes, you're logged in. You don't need to re-log in every single time. So single sign-on. Next, we've integrated Twitter in with many of our apps, like Camera and Photos. So now if you're at a concert and you take a photo and you want to tweet that photo, just tap on the Action button. It's a new option, Tweet, and it brings up this beautiful tweet sheet. Gives you a nice thumbnail of the photo, gives you a countdown of how many characters you have left to type, and you can even optionally add your location. Tap on that, and then you've tweeted the photo. It's that simple. In addition to tweeting from Photos and Camera, you can tweet articles from Safari, websites. You can tweet videos from YouTube. And you can tweet about businesses or locations from Maps. Beyond all of this, we added integration with contacts. Now, you might have a lot of contacts that don't have photos, but Twitter may have photos for those people. And so you can use Twitter to automatically update the photos in your contact list and even the @ username for your friends. And that's Twitter integration throughout the OS. Next is Safari. Safari is the best mobile web browser out there. It's also the most popular. In fact, nearly 2/3 of all mobile web browsing is done on Safari. Beyond this, we took Apple's Safari engine and open sourced it. And it's the basis of all web browsing on Android. So the Safari engine is the basis of more than 90% of all web browsing on mobile devices. Well, in iOS 5, we're making Safari even better. We've got some great features. The first is Reader. Safari Reader becomes available up here as a new button when you're reading a story on a website. If you just tap on that button, we take the story you're reading and make it front and center. We get rid of all the distractions, set the font size right, and even if it's a multi-page story, so you'd have to tap through multiple web pages normally to get to it, we put it in a single scrolling story. It's really convenient. On top of that, you can now email the contents of the story. Before, you could just email the link, but now when you email, you get the link plus the contents in your Compose window. And all of this works really well on the iPad. It works great on the iPhone as well. It's a perfect size for it. It sets the font size right. It's really nice to read stories. So that's Safari Reader. The second one is Reading List. Reading List is a simple and convenient way for you to quickly save a story to read it later. You just put it in the reading list, and when you add an item to reading list, it gets added to the reading list on all of your iOS devices, and even the reading list on Safari on Mac and Safari on Windows. So if you don't have time to finish it here on the iPad, you can finish reading it later on your iPhone. And the next feature is tab browsing. We have added full tab browsing on Safari on the iPad. And let me just show it to you. All right. So here I have an iPad running iOS 5. I'll launch Safari here. And the first thing you'll see with tab browsing is It is lightning fast to switch between windows now. Just tap on it, and you're there. Great. Now, I'm on the DP review site, which is a fantastic review site for cameras. And they have really extensive reviews. In fact, you normally have to tap through many, many pages to read the whole review. If I look at this one here, it's 20 pages long. Well, if I tap the Reader button here, it loads the entire story up in Reader. Now I can just scroll through. It gets rid of all the distractions, lets me concentrate just on the content. That is Reader. You even see that when it goes between pages here, where you would have had to tap to say next page, it automatically gives you a little page break so you know when it's going through those pages. Now let's say if I don't have time to finish the story right now, I can just tap the bookmarks bar item, and here I have reading list. I tap plus, and now it's added this to my reading list. And again, I can go finish this on Mac, on Safari on my Mac, or any of my other iOS devices. It's great. And if I really like this and I want to tweet about it, let me show you the Twitter integration while we're here. If I tap tweet, brings up the tweet sheet. We do completion, so if I have a friend, Gary Dunn, so I hit @G, automatically fills in the name, tap that, and I say, I like this one. And I can optionally add my location, tap send, and it's tweeted. It's that easy. So some really great Safari enhancements and Twitter integration throughout. All right, next up is reminders. All of us are constantly creating lists of things to do, lists of things to buy, like a grocery list. Some of them have a place associated, like don't forget to walk the dog when I get home. And some have a time associated, say buy concert tickets Monday at 10 a.m., so that's when they go on sale. Wouldn't it be great if you could get rid of all these scraps of paper and store all this on your phone? But beyond that, if your phone actually reminded you to do things as opposed to just statically keeping a list of things. Well, that's exactly what the Reminders app does. On the Reminders app, you can store lists of things, multiple lists, so things for a trip to San Francisco or a birthday party or a grocery list. You can store dates associated with these reminders, so you'll be reminded on that date. You can also assign location. This is really cool. I could set up a reminder to say, remind me to call my wife when I leave the convention today. And it'll set a geofence up around Moscone Center, and so when I get in my car to leave, it'll pop up and say call. It solves the problem of, I'm leaving right now, I promise. Call in the car. You can, of course, search through all your reminders, and reminders will sync with iCal on the Mac using CalDAV, and even with Outlook on Windows using Exchange. And that is Reminders. Next is Camera. The iPhone 4 is widely regarded as having one of the best cameras on a mobile phone. It's also one of the most popular. In fact, if you look at cameras used to take photos and then post them to Flickr, now this is all cameras, not just cameras on phones. You see where the iPhone 4 is. It is already by far the most popular camera on a phone to take photos, and it very soon will be the most popular camera overall. But we want to make using the camera even better, and that's what we're doing. The first thing we're doing is making it way faster to just get in and take a photo. So now, if there's some moment happening, your kid's doing something really cute, you want to capture it, you double-click that home button, you get a new camera icon. When you tap on that camera icon, you're brought directly and immediately to the camera, and you're ready to take a photo. Now, What's really cool about this is even if you have a passcode set, we'll take you right in to take a new photo. We'll protect it, and you can't see any previous photos you've taken or anything else on the phone without typing your passcode. But you can start taking a picture immediately. And you can even use the volume up button now to click the photo. And that sound, I think people say, use the shutter button to turn your volume up. So in addition to this, we've added optional grid lines. So you can use the rule of thirds to compose your photo or line it up. You can now pinch to zoom right within the camera. And if you hold your finger over part of the scene now, we'll set the auto exposure and autofocus lock. And you can even move it around and it'll stick to that. Now, this is a really advanced feature, and we've brought it to the iPhone, and we've made it really easy for everyone to use. Now, next, once you've taken your great photos, you can now edit them right on your iPhone and your iPad. You can do things like crop and rotate, red eye reduction. So if you've taken the photo at left where the flash has caused a red eye, you can automatically remove that red eye right on your iPhone or iPad. And we even brought over the one-click enhance that we pioneered in iPhoto on the Mac, and it brought that to iOS. So you can see when you applied one-tap enhance to the right, how the color tones look so much nicer, how it pulls detail out of shadow. It's really nice. So some great photo editing features and really nice camera enhancements. Next is Mail. Now, Mail is one of the most used applications on both the iPhone, iPod, and iPod Touch, or iPad and iPod Touch. And we're making it even better in iOS 5. We're adding rich text formatting, so you can set things as bold, italic, and underline. You can control the indentation. So if you're forwarding something, you can unindent it or further indent it. You can now drag the addresses between two CC and BCC. You don't have to retype them again. We've added support for flagging, so you can flag and unflag. Now, this next one has been an incredibly popular request. In addition to searching from, to, and subject, you can search the entire contents of all your messages, both the messages on your phone and all of the messages back on the mail server. So search the entire contents of your messages. For the iPad, we added a really nice swipe to inbox gesture, so it makes it really nice to use this in portraits. You can swipe it on, tap on something, swipe it off. And with every release of iOS 5, or iOS, we continue to add more support for our enterprise customers. And one example of that in iOS 5 is we've added support for S-MIME. So now, I think we've done a really nice job of this. So now if you have the certificate of someone else, you automatically get this lock icon right in the addressing field to show you this will be encrypted when sent to the other person. And let me just go ahead and give you a demo of a few of these features now.